Hey everyone, Guy here back again for part two of this Plutio and Integromat, creating a person with a form submission integration. What we're going to do next is test the actual live form submission from Plutio off of your actual form that you just submitted as a test. What we're going to do is click the Run Once button, and you'll get this pop-up that there's data sitting on the webhook in the queue. What you need to do is process existing, but also note that it won't create a new, or it won't affect your clients or your client data, since we're only creating a person inside of your account and we're not actually manipulating any of your existing client data. So click process existing. When it finishes, you're going to notice that this first module turns green and that this one stays black because our filter is not set up to let this form response process through. So we're going to check out the output of this watch notifications, and you're going to see that we have the form ID, which we're about to put into our filter. And we also have the method we also selected in our filter is form-response.create. It's exactly what we need. So we're going to go into the filter, select the method in form-response.create if you haven't done that already. But what we're going to do in this second piece is drop this form ID right here. And this needs to be equal to the form that you are trying to capture in this process. The way to do that is inside of Plutio, you need to go to the form itself inside of forms, go to the form you need to capture in this process. Under actions and embed, you're actually going to be able to see the ID of the form, which is this string after form \. You can copy that either through the browser or the control copy, or if you're on a Mac, command copy, I believe. I'm a Windows user myself. Go back into Integromat, paste that value into the filter where form ID is equal to that value. And the same up top, make sure it's method equal to form-response.create. Hit OK to save those two filter settings. Now we're going to go into the person now that we have the live form fields to work with that you want to map. So what we need to do is take out our test data, make sure you have the right role selected and the right connection selected up top. If you have multiple accounts or multiple clients that you manage, say Plutio accounts with, they'll populate in that connection. So make sure you're in the right connection. Make sure you select the right role. If they're a client, make sure to select client or any other role you have in your organization. Now what we're going to do is dynamically map these names from the form response. So long as you have a first and last name collection or a first and last name input in your form, it'll populate. What we're going to do is in these fields under map watch notifications, click data. Under the all lowercase data, drop that one down. And typically it's the first set of values that you collect. So under this one, the first one, drop down value, and here's first name. Under the second one, do the same thing, data, the first one, and last name. If you wanted to include any links, if you collect web links or any other kind of customer data or client data, you can do that by clicking the add item, the type. You can select if it's a website or a YouTube link, and it'll pre-build that link for you, the title of the link if you'd like, and then the URL if you collect that data inside of your form. You can also select any of these specific fields that you have, colors and statuses. If you also collect any of these city, state, zip, any of that address specific information. Another great piece to include is also their emails. So in my forms, I have client emails in my forms, a way to reach out and contact people. So a good way to check this field, what you're going to notice is when you go to map this, these values are going to be blank, whereas before up top they were populated. You could see the actual value in the field. So you need to take note of what the actual field or block ID is from the form. So if you're trying to map a contact email, it's the second one in my form. So the one ending in KTEM is the field that I need to get the actual value from. So when I go to hit contact emails, I know that the address is the second one in my list of available fields. Click value, add. The same thing for the phone. If you collect phone numbers, make sure you find the right field that is listed under. Here it's my third one. So I'll go under contact phones to map the number, the third one, and put value. After that, this is the most basic you can get with setting up a client. You can not even include contact email or phones if you wish not to collect it. But otherwise, your contact fields or your people fields will show up here as well if you have custom fields. And if you wanted to map and collect all this information, you are more than welcome to do that. Click OK. Now, since we have our filter set up, we can rerun this to process that data. What we will need to do to test this is to submit another form response, because that first form response you submitted has been processed and it didn't do any action. So you need to resubmit a form response, which I've already done. Then wait that minute or two, hit the run once, and you'll now see the process existing again. So let's do that, process existing. So now we see that the watch notifications action was complete and it had no errors. We see our response again in the output, the form ID. We also see the right method, which means our filter should have allowed this action to proceed, which it did. And then our create a person action was complete as well. So now our output is this client was created. And we'll see that by going back into Plutio in the people section. And now my test client that I just submitted is right there, ready to go. Now again, I didn't select any of the other custom fields. I also did not allow Integromat to invite them by default, which you can do by selecting the invite option right here. You can undo this, unmap it, and then invite if you'd like. You can also then designate the email you'd like them to be sent to, and the message if you'd like to include a custom message that's not the default for your Plutio invite, which is in settings, in general settings right here. The default message, this is your invite message. So you can dynamically select that, or based on this scenario or this process you're doing, if it's different than your standard invite language, you can designate that message right there. Thanks for watching, and I hope this solves some of your issues. If it doesn't, or if you need other guidance, please feel free to reach out to me or go to datalytics.com/connect and send me a form. Thanks.